Sometimes in life things can come across as rather odd or often peculiar, a little like the way that you decide to tune into other radio stations other than ours.
Wishful thinking, been dreaming, it's my time to shine. Wanting, waiting, been hoping for a girl like you to know. I wanna get the girls I couldn't get before. I wanna be in a band, make that music. I wanna be in a band, get those grooves. I wanna be in a band, smoke those dudes. I wanna be in a band.
If you enjoyed that introduction song, head on over to iTunes and pick it up. That's I Wanna Be in a Band by Lovestruck Robot off their debut album, I Wanna Be in a Band. You can download the entire album there, as well as their new single, Smoke Show. For more information, please visit lovestruckrobot.com. Good morning, good afternoon, hip hip hooray. This is Me, Myself, and I. I'm your host, Anthony Hayes. If you are not already doing so, please follow me on Twitter at @ahayes_MMI. I am also on Instagram, @ahayes_MMI. And the newest addition to the Me, Myself, and I arsenal, Me, Myself, and I Radio on Facebook. And of course, when all else fails, head on over to the mothership, Me, Myself, and I Radio.com. Lots to talk about in less than half an hour to do it in, so let's get into Me, Myself, and I, shall we? Hey, how's it going? This is Anthony. Thanks for tuning in today. If it's your first time with us, welcome. If you've been following the progression of the show, I appreciate you sticking along for the ride. Here on Me, Myself, and I, we discuss overcoming obstacles despite your circumstances. I draw from personal experiences as outlined in my book, The Science of Being, and a decade-long battle with clinical depression. What I've done to combat these feelings is with exploring a path of self-actualization by taking ownership of my mental and physical health. Life, you see, is an ever-evolving process. As the world around us changes, we must change along with it. What do I mean by that? Am I saying to conform to something or someone you are not? Quite the opposite, actually. When I refer to change, I imply evolving through learning, growing, and then embracing it. That is where my mantra of keep on flowing, just be, stems from. We do not find ourselves. We do not become. We create. We are simply by being. The moment you stop looking for something, forcing its capture, it will find you. With the progression of my book, blog, networking, and now this podcast, I've been able to do just that. This is Me, Myself, and I. Let's go.
Welcome to Me, Myself, and I, episode 21. The last episode was actually 20, but I thought it was 21. But nevertheless, it's just a number. Today is the 21st episode of Me, Myself, and I. Thanks for tuning in. It is Thursday, July 2nd. Upon drinking my morning coffee, I decided to see what type of events took place on July 2nd, just out of curiosity. And apparently today is National Anisette Day, which is something I did not know. And anisette apparently is a anise-flavored liqueur that is made by distilling aniseed and sometimes adding a sugar syrup. Anisette is popular in Spain, Italy, Portugal, and France. So now we all know something new today that we did not know yesterday. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Upon further reading, you may be able to approach your state representative to issue a legislative proclamation about your day and creating your own national holiday. You may be able to get the mayor or city council of your town to recognize the event in some fashion, giving it greater credibility and newsworthiness. Now, I thought that was quite interesting. Imagine National Me, Myself, and I Day. An entire day dedicated to oneself. A day to unplug, reflect, create, and dream about everything you've become up until this point and all you have yet to be. I'm just saying, we could make it happen. We get a petition rolling around. You never know. Anyway, now that my ADD has completely hijacked the opening of the show, today's episode is another self-discovery success story. All the exercises and habits we've been working on, goals we've been striving toward, are in fact paying off. And I'm going to tell you why. Recently, I aced my interview I mentioned I was preparing for. After doing so, I was given the opportunity to move to a different location in a leadership position, which is an opportunity I'm completely grateful for, and I would definitely have to attribute my success to my journey, my personal journey of self-discovery, and taking the necessary steps to become a better me. Because that's what Me, Myself, and I is all about. We're overcoming obstacles, we're learning about ourselves, and we're also learning about the world around us and what it means to us and where our place is in this big world. You know what I mean? On another note, I just want to say, keep those emails, tweets, comments, whatever coming. Keep them coming in. I read every one of them, whether it be in reference to the podcast in particular or the blog or the Daddy Diaries blog. I'm glad you're on this journey with me, and thanks for sticking along, and I hope we can continue it together. A new little habit or daily routine I've been incorporating: drinking more tea. Now, I'm not talking about tea in the bag, anything like that, Lipton. I'm talking about the good stuff, the freshly brewed loose leaf tea. And I've been trying all different types of varieties because apparently there's like hundreds of them, and trying to dabble in which one I like the best, which flavors brew well together, and so it's been kind of a cool process to figure that out, to learn more about what I like, to learn about my palate. Typically, I've been drinking about 2 cups a day, and upon further reading about it, the health benefits are endless. And I will definitely go into greater detail in the blog. This, several minutes, more around 10 minutes, I would say, 10 to 12 minutes, of drinking tea and sitting is another opportunity we give ourselves in the day to kind of reflect, sit back, and appreciate everything around us, and the fact that we are able to treat ourselves to some tea and some time, whether it is with ourselves sitting on the porch, enjoying the fresh air, or maybe in a nice quiet room with a loved one and sharing a cup of tea with them and discussing your day. It gives you another opportunity to just take a breath, be present in the moment, give yourself that extra 10 minutes out of the day for you because you deserve it. We got so much going on right now. Let this be an opportunity for you. And that's how I'm using that every single day. Going forward here on Me, Myself, and I, I've got a lot of awesome guests lined up, and I look forward to recording and releasing those podcasts at a future date with you guys. And I really hope you enjoy the guests, to get not only their message out there, but to get how their message relates to what we're talking about. They're very inspiring, and I hope you'll find them just as inspiring as I do as we look into that in the future on another podcast going forward. So just to recap, up until this point, we've covered a lot of topics on this road toward a better self. And I just want to go over those real quick. In case you didn't know, it's going to give you an opportunity to look back and also to look forward in the things we have to look forward to and talking about and exploring maybe in more detail and more depth. We talked about the physical self. Now, this is a 2-part one. So the first one would be an example of, incorporating more exercise into your daily habits. I talked about yoga and how I've been working with that. Incorporating some stretching, maybe making that one smarter food choice a day. When you would grab for a soda, let's grab for a water instead. Just get back to the basics Get back to the basics, because this is how you were built and intended to thrive. Tea is another one, and that's something that I just started doing recently. Maybe that's something that you can incorporate into your daily activities. And the second part of the physical side, not only in your body and nourishment and exercise and doing it in that fashion, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the materialistic physical self. Now, if you look good, you're going to feel good. As opposed to maybe just hanging around on your day off at home, in your PJs, doing chores, things like that. Maybe get up, take a shower, and get dressed like you would any other day. Because if you feel all crummy and like, oh, it's a lazy day and things like that, that's going to really affect your mental health. And it's something that you want to be very careful of. And I know it's easy to get comfortable and fall into those habits. I'm a victim of it myself. But when I realize it, I snap out of it, I jump in the shower, and I just get my day officially started. Today, being one of those days, I don't go into work until 5 p.m. And at about 10, I said, you know what? Out with the PJs, in with the collared shirt, and on to Me, Myself, and I, episode 21. One of the other areas and topics of discussion that we've discussed is mindfulness and retraining your brain. And some ways that we've been able to do this is through meditation, yoga, hypnosis, writing. Writing was another big one, because if it's in your head, you need an outlet to get it out. And the best thing to do that is to see it in black and white. Because if you see it, you believe it, and then you can start living it. Mindfulness is a big one, and I trust we will definitely be talking more about that in the future. Another key success to discovering the Me, Myself, and I elements is through learning. I recently started reading more. I have to admit, I'm not a huge book buff, but I went out of my way to get involved in the reading community and be a part of book releases and previewing books before they came out, holding myself accountable, but also being a part of something bigger than myself. Learning is a huge, and this is an ongoing thing. You learn every day. Do everything you can to learn something new every single day. Because the more we know about the world around us, the more we know about ourselves. It sounds strange, but it's completely true. Don't ask me why. Writing kind of falls into the category of learning too, so that one's going to cross over. Through literature and reading, and there's so many different facets when it comes to learning. It could be learning a new language. A future guest of ours is actually a multilingual, multi-talented gentleman from the UK, and we're going to go into much greater detail on learning a new language. But that's just an example. I'm sure there's a lot of community centers. If you're low on funds, if money's an issue, it does cost money to learn new languages and learn new things. I'm sure there is a community center close by you, a YMCA type, that offers either things free or at a highly discounted rate. So don't give up just yet and say, oh, I can't afford it. I don't have the resources. You do. Looking for things to learn about is also a way of exploring learning. Just think about it. You've got to do research. You've got to go on the internet. You've got to make phone calls. You're learning about what you're searching for firsthand, and it's going to give you a greater understanding about it. It's going to make you appreciate it more. So the more you know, the more you will do. So get on that learning. That's never going to stop. I'm doing it every day, and that's what that's all about. Another huge thing that we talked about is networking. Meeting new, like-minded individuals that are out there striving to do the same thing that you want to do in a similar fashion. Those positive people, bring in some positive influences and get rid of the toxic ones. It may be painful. You may have to let go of some people or friends that you've known for a very long time. But the fact of the matter is, they're holding you back. and it does not make them a bad person.